Other important points I wanted to highlight from the wording of the question is the word young people. It doesn't specifically specify young people. So this could be children, it could be adolescents, it could be teenagers, young adults, Gen Z, all of them. Essentially, the examiner or the question marker has left it up to you to decide. So make sure it's very, very clear when you write the question who you're referring to. So it's open to interpretation. If you want to talk about teenagers, you can talk about teenagers. If you want to talk about a more broad range, so maybe children up to young adults, that's fine too, but just make sure you are consistent. The question also doesn't specify a geographic region or a specific group of young people, so it doesn't specify, young females, young girls, young boys, or anything like that. So again, it's keeping it very broad, which means that you should keep your answer broad as well when it comes to talking about anxiety and depression in young people. So think globally, don't just think, in a specific country or a specific population, and don't just focus on a specific group of young people. And my last point is going to ensure this happens, including a range of cultures, genders, countries, and socio-economic groups. So some important background context that is important for this question. There is an epidemic of youth anxiety and depression, and here we can see that this has been well reported in the media. So if you look at the graph on the top left, you'll see this. The graph starts at 2004 and it ends at 2020. And this is a graph showing the percentage of major depression amongst teenagers in the US. And you can see that there's been a very steep rise from 2012 to 2020. So 145% increase in girls and 161% increase in boys. So already we can see this idea of an unprecedented epidemic of depression, and we're seeing the same thing with anxiety as well. You can see here the Oxford Young Lives report has reported that global crises hit mental health and well-being in young people. You can see McKinsey have done the same thing. There is a crisis of mental health among teenagers. So clearly it's being reported about. It's definitely something that is present. And finally, the source on the bottom right from NHS Digital from 2022 said that rates of mental disorders rose by 10% in 2017 and by 17% in 2020. And then they increased to 25% increase in 2022. So again, we're seeing that pretty high increase in mental disorders amongst young people.